Hey, Jada, what's up, love? I hope y'all can hear me. I got into this trial for Gannon, and I'm finally caught up, and they are on day 7 of live streaming it, and so here we are. We're a little behind, but I'm gonna, speed through it, and we're caught up, and we will continue to stream live every day here on out until it's over on this channel. So we finally got one that we can stream live and chat about. Oh, good, Jada. Thank you, love. I'm going to go ahead and get into this because we're a little bit behind, but this is today of the trial. I love you all and thank you.
All right, court will call 20 CR 1358, People versus Letecia Stainch. Record should reflect the jury's not present in the courtroom. Before we start today, I do want to talk a little bit, and Mr. Tolini's here, good, okay. I wanted to make a little bit of a further record on the Medina case and some research that I've done since then. 16.8.109 CRS section 16-8-109 permits a layperson to give an opinion regarding a mental condition of a defendant. Mr. Tolini has cited People versus Medina, 521 Pacific 2nd, 1247, Colorado, 1974, for the proposition that the individuals which the district attorney's office sometimes requests be permitted to give an opinion regarding sanity. You can go ahead and have a seat if you want. I'll give you a chance to talk. But the defense has objected on the grounds of Medina. And I reviewed the facts and circumstances of that case. And in that case, the trial court, this was back at a time, it was 1974. So it was back at a time when the issues of guilt and sanity were tried in separate phases. And actually, this case apparently had 3 different trials, all on the same facts regarding a robbery. And in that case, the trial court allowed a sheriff to testify that he thought the defendant was presently sane, and I note that word, presently sane, based on a contact that the sheriff had with the defendant while transporting the defendant from Dallas, Texas, back to Fort Collins. It does not say when the crime occurred, and it does not say when the sheriff had his first contact with the defendant. So that's not terribly helpful. The next person that was allowed to testify was an investigator. And according to the facts, the investigator did not first met the defendant approximately 2 months after the offense. And the Supreme Court ultimately held that it was that the trial court abused its discretion in allowing that testimony, saying that before such opinion evidence from a non-expert can be admissible, the specific facts upon which the opinion is based must first be stated by the witness, and his testimony must also show a close or intimate relationship with the party alleged to be insane. They also cite a case called People versus Cole from Michigan. And it appears to be that the emphasis of that case was that the witness must establish that he was sufficiently acquainted with the defendant or testator so as to testify to the mental condition on a comparative basis and not merely to some manifested idiosyncrasy or eccentric behavior. Also, however, reviewed the case of People versus Talley, 7 Pacific 3rd, 172, Colorado Appellate, 1999. And I will tell you that there is an error in that case because it says that cert was granted August 28, 2000. That's not correct. Cert was denied by both the United States Supreme Court and the Colorado Supreme Court. But in that case, it involved I think it was a cable TV installer. Cable television company installer, and the one worker killed another worker for, I guess, infringing on his turf is how it's referred to in the case. And the defendant at that point in time, or some months before the killing occurred, told his supervisor that if the victim was not kept off his turf, he would go to a higher level of security. And the supervisor was called to testify at trial and was allowed to express an opinion on the defendant's sanity as of the dates other than the date of the offense. And the Court of Appeals in that case found that it was not error to allow such testimony. Also noted People versus Gallimanis, Galimanis, 944 Pacific 2nd, 626, Colorado Appellate 1997, holding that it is properly inquiring into the mental condition of the defendant both before and after the commission of the act. And in this case, it said the defendant's supervisor expressed his opinion that the defendant was sane as of 9 days after the killing. Even if his testimony as defendant contends also expressed an opinion that the defendant was sane at an earlier date, that opinion referred to defendant's sanity only 3 months before the killing. So as I see this, I think that the foundation that needs to be laid for an opinion to be provided is what were the circumstances of the contact between the witness that is testifying, the circumstances under which the witness had contact with the defendant, how the defendant was acting, those sorts of things. I also note that in this case, everybody except for the defendant's brother and Mr. Stout had contact with the defendant either at or near the time of the offense, which is alleged to have been committed in this case. So it seems to me that a person can give testimony regarding whether or not, based on their contacts with them, whether they thought the defendant was sane at the time. They cannot give testimony unless qualified as an expert and sufficient foundation at laid. They cannot give testimony regarding a diagnosis that may have rendered the defendant insane. But they can testify as to whether or not they saw certain things, whether she was, I think the prosecution has gone down the line of, did she refer to herself by a different name? Did she seem to know what was going on? In addition, with respect to, I think it was Van Nest was the name of the nurse yesterday. She's in a little bit different position. Number one, she was qualified to testify as an expert, true, not in as a psychologist or psychiatrist, but part of her job requires her to obtain consent from a patient in order to perform an examination. And before she can obtain that consent validly, as she testified, she has to make sure that the patient understands the procedure, understands what's going on, understands why she is requesting what it is that she's requesting, and that the patient has the present capacity to be able to understand all of that and make a decision regarding that. So I think her testimony regarding whether or not the defendant was sane was properly admitted. So with that, Mr. Tellini, did you want to make further record, sir?
In regards to the same nurse, I think it's different her testifying whether or not she was mentally signed the releases and so forth. I think she has a training on that. And my source might be different. She's saying, I think that has a legal connotation that she's not qualified or does not have the foundation. I understand, of course, when we just that's what my objection is too. And I understand there's Medina and there's, in my reading of Medina, there was kind of two issues that the court had with the officers, with the two basic law enforcement people testifying. One was, I understand the court saying the proximity and time when they're in contact with them. It also seemed that they were stressing that the contact was of somewhat of a limited duration. And I think one of them only had like an hour-long interview with them. Tally, and I understand Tally, it's unclear from the case how much contact the supervisor had with the defendant, whether it was, we've been supervising for years, or it's supervised for, a month. And so we don't necessarily have this that we had to focus on the time. It's depending on how this case goes out, we'll have some direction from the Supreme Court on how to interpret Medina, even though it's a 50-year-old case. It doesn't seem that there's a lot of cases subsequent to it explaining what the actual foundation is. And so I think I made the record pretty clear. And again, I don't want, I'm not going to make a long record, in the court district attorney when they're asking the question. I'm objecting to. I just don't have that foundation. I think that would make a sufficient difference, so they understand what the focusing on.
All right, prosecution. Do you have any other record to add?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. It's the people's position that we agree with the court on the analysis of the cases that each cited. However, the jury is also going to be instructed on what insanity is. They're also going to be instructed, at least in the packet that we provided, that a layperson can weigh an opinion on insanity. At the end of the day, all of this goes to the weight of the testimony, because they also are going to be getting instruction on the credibility of all witnesses. And they can base the amount of time that the witnesses have spent with the defendant and weigh their credibility on that. So the instructions of law will cure any concerns that defense has.
Okay. All right. And that was a long way to start the morning. Sorry about that. Anything we need to bring up outside the presence of the jury at this point in time?
No.
Okay. Let's go ahead and bring the jury in. Are you going to start with the video?
No, I'll start with some testimony first, obviously. Yeah. And there's actually will be 4 videos during her testimony. The long one will be her interview that she conducted on January 29th, I think it is. It's about a little over 4 hours.
We'll also need to find a breaking point this
Yeah,
morning.
yep.
Okay. All rise for the jury, please. Fine, it's all good. I'm positive. I can see it's fine. Thank you. May all be seated. Court will recall 20 CR 1358, People versus Letecia Stainch. Record should reflect the jury has returned to the courtroom. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Has anything occurred since we were last together that causes any of you to believe you could not continue to serve as a fair and impartial juror in this case? If so, please raise your hand. No response. All right. Yesterday, when we took our break, we were still in the midst of the prosecution's case in chief. That's where we will resume today. Mr. Allen, call your next witness.
Thank you, Ron. We would call Jessica Bethel. It's my understanding Mr. Cook is doing her cross. I don't know where Mr. Cook went.
Okay.
He's going to be right back. I will say that for him.
We're good to go then. Okay. All right, Ms. Bethel, if you would raise your right hand. You swear to affirm the testimony about giving this man will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Go ahead and have a seat in the witness stand. Please watch your step as you step into the stand.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may. Go ahead.
Good morning, ma'am. Will you please introduce yourself to our jury and then spell your first and last name for the record?
Good morning. My name is Jessica Bethel, Jessica Bethel.
Ms. Bethel, what do you do currently for work?
I'm currently a stay-at-home mom.
Okay. Did you at one point work for the El Paso County Sheriff's Office?
I did.
What was your last assignment with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office?
I was last assigned to the investigations division.
What kind of education and training allowed you to do that job?
I went through a post academy to become a sworn peace officer for the state of Colorado. And from there, I received on-the-job training and advanced my career into the investigations division.
Are you still a post-certified peace officer in the state of Colorado?
Yes, I am.
How long were you in law enforcement previously?
Total, including my time served as a civilian, would be 14 years.
I want to specifically get us oriented to January 2020 timeframe. Were you working at the El Paso County Sheriff's Office at that time?
Yes, I was.
What was your specific job assignment then?
I was assigned to the majors investigation team, which consisted of detectives that investigated homicides and robberies, assaults against people.
How many different homicide cases did you get involved with investigating, if you have a round figure?
Oh boy. I would say more than 100.
At some point, did you become involved in the Gannon Stout disappearance case?
Yes, I did.
What was your role in that case?
I was assigned as the lead detective.
What does a lead detective do?
The lead detective coordinates the investigation mainly on a typical case and receives the leads and the information that's being collected by the other detectives. And then from there, analyzes that information and disseminates further leads, eventually leading up to either an arrest of the person or, looking at potentially a different suspect.
You said in the typical case, was there something about this particular case that made it different from what you would classify as a typical homicide investigation?
Yes.
What was different about it just from the initial standpoint?
Initially, this case was receiving a lot of attention in social media, and the case quickly grew to a multi-agency case.
Do you remember off the top of your head how many different agencies got involved with this investigation?
I would say close to 10, if not more.
Did that include both state Colorado agencies like the El Paso County Sheriff's Office and other agencies, also federal agencies?
Yes.
Did it also include agencies in other states?
Yes, it did.
Would that include South Carolina and Florida?
Yes.
Because of the scope of this investigation, did that change the role of a lead investigator from the sheriff's office to some degree?
It did, yes.
In what way did that happen?
Because there was so much information coming in, I assumed more of an investigative role as opposed to sitting back and collecting all of the leads at once.
Would you classify the investigation as almost an all hands on deck effort?
Absolutely.
Speaking about just generally how the course of an investigation might go in a typical case, what are things that can influence the direction a case will develop into?
Things that can influence it, I would say whether or not we have witnesses available, whether or not there's video, whether or not the suspect is willing to do an interview with us, those types of things can influence it.
What about the potential absence or existence of physical evidence?
Absolutely, that can influence it as well, heavily.
You mentioned witnesses, willingness to give statements or lack of willingness to give statements. Can that also influence the course of an investigation?
Yes, it can.
What about misleading statements from witnesses? Can that have an influence on an investigation?
Yes, it can.
Those things that I just referenced, did some of those things occur in this case?
Yes, they did.
Did some of those things have a negative influence on the investigation?
Yes, they did.
Can you, in a general sense, tell us what some of those things might have been that caused a negative influence on the investigation?
This ultimately ended up being a homicide investigation, and we did not have a standard homicide scene where there would be, evidence of the homicide and a body. That was not present in this case. Also, the suspect providing alternate leads, multiple stories of what happened, also influenced how we proceeded with the case.
When you've got that sort of dynamic going where there's different stories being presented to the investigative team, do you have to sometimes chase those down to see if there's any validity to them?
We should always chase those down. Absolutely.
Okay. And why is that?
It's just as important whenever you're trying to prove that someone did something as to prove that they didn't do something. We need to act without bias. And so if they present something to us, we need to take that just as it's a credible piece of information and vet it before we determine that it's not a good lead.
When did you first become aware of this particular investigation? Do you remember?
January 28th.
So the day after Gannon was reported missing by a 911 call and a non-emergency call
That's correct.
by the defendant in this case?
Yes.
Because the initial call was for a missing or runaway child, did that cause a investigative impetus or momentum to try to find this child that potentially had run away?
Initially, patrol handled the case just as a missing or runaway child. But then later, when it was brought to our investigations, our attention, we realized that he was 11 years old. The weather, his medical conditions, it became more important to find him soon.
Were there lots of searches conducted in the area sort of surrounding the victim's home?
Yes, I was aware of many searches being done by neighbors, some coworkers of Albert's, and also law enforcement.
Did that include vast areas of field and even reservoirs and that kind of thing?
Yes.
Did any of those searches in the immediate area turn up any clues that would lead to any investigative leads that you can pursue?
No.
You said that you first learned of this case on January 28, 2020. Did you actually reach out to the person that ended up being the defendant in this case on that particular day?
Yes, I did.
Why did you make that effort?
I wanted to contact Letecia to speak with her more about Gannon's disappearance and to meet with her, preferably at her home, so that I could look at his room to look for clues as to where he may have gone, if he had left anything behind, a note, or any behavioral changes.
Were you able to talk to Letecia?
I was, yes.
How would you describe her demeanor on that phone call? Was she willing to talk to you?
I would say she was hesitant at best.
Do you remember how you described it in your reports?
I don't remember verbatim, no.
Okay. Do you remember if you described it as being apprehensive, that she was apprehensive to talk to you?
Yes.
Did you specifically ask her at that particular time if you could go to the house and talk to her about what had happened?
Yes, I did.
Did she agree to allow you to come to the house?
No, she did not.
Did she give a reason?
Yes, she told me that there were several young children in the home, and she didn't want them overhearing what we were talking about.
What did you do then as far as trying to get her to sit down with you and give some sort of a statement to you?
I offered to meet her at a place of her choice. She ultimately asked that I meet her at Starbucks located on Fountain Mesa.
Prior to this particular phone call, had you ever met Letecia Stainch?
No,
Had you ever talked to her on the phone?
no,
Did you, in fact, then meet up with her at the Starbucks on Fountain Mesa?
I did.
Who was present for that interaction?
Letecia was present. Albert was present. My partner, Detective Mark Riley, was present. Myself and Jason Hess, Sergeant Jason Hess, also was present during part of it.
Okay. Did you actually do this contact with her and Mr. Stout inside the Starbucks business?
Yes,
So was there a recording made of this particular interaction?
yes, there was.
Can you hear sort of the normal chatter that you would hear in a Starbucks on the recording of this?
Yes, you can.
Can we approach with People's Exhibit 335?
You may.
Ms. Bethel, do you recognize People's Exhibit 335?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize it?
It is a disc containing a field interview with Mr. Stout and Letecia.
Is this the recording of what we were just talking about, your interaction with them at Starbucks on Fountain Mesa on January 28, 2020?
It is.
Have you had a chance to listen to that recording?
I did.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of that interview?
Yes.
At this time, I'd move for admission of People's 335 and request permission to publish.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, exhibit 335 will be admitted. Go ahead.
And before we publish it, the person that you had contact with that identified as Letecia Stout, did that person have the same voice as the person you talked to on the phone just a little bit prior to this actual meeting?
Yes, she did.
Do you see that same person in the courtroom today?
Yes, I do.
Will you please identify her for the jury, pointing out where she's sitting and what she's wearing?
She's sitting at the defendant's table. She has a pink shirt on.
With her head resting on her hand?
Yes.
I would ask that the record reflect she has identified the defendant.
The record will so reflect. Go ahead.
And then permission to publish People's 335, and it is 55 minutes and 54 seconds, Your Honor.
And is this audio only?
Yes, this is audio only.
All right, go ahead.
Let you want to be in. Yeah. So, do you guys want to stand out here, or do you want to go in the? We can go in. I'm Detective Bethel, by the way. Okay. This is my partner, Detective Riley. Sorry, I'm so little. Yes. And I felt that. I guarantee you, if I put down there. So. So we were just notified about what's going on again, and so I just want to start from the beginning to make sure that I have accurate information. So your name, ma'am?
It's TECIA. And same last name, so. AUCH.
Your date of birth?
8483.
Give me the address, because I don't think that street name's right.
It's just Mandan, MANDAN.
How long have you guys lived there?
A little over a year.
And your name, sir?
First name Eugene.
Your date of birth?
82.
All right. Where do you work now?
The weekend.
Which school?
I don't know. I don't like if I think it's for the college.
And you, sir?
I'm in National Guard. Full time.
So tell me a little bit about Mr. Gannon. How old is he? 11?
Let's switch up it out. That's not true.
Right. That's what I was told too.
So we were like, everything we do based on the mindset on based on that.
But someone actually takes it.
Yeah, exactly. Last night he texted me. I was in Oklahoma at Fort Sill for training. I had to come home emergency. But he texted me last night. He's like, yeah, we saw him on the camera. Came in, did not look distressed. Bought some chips, left on foot. I can show you the text if you want to see it. But
When did you go to Fort Sill?
when? Yeah, I left Sunday. I've been there one day.
What school does Gannon attend?
Grand Mountain.
Grand Mountain?
Yeah, it's in our neighborhood.
I was gonna say, I think that's a new one that opened up together. Tell me about his friends.
Most of his friends are right there, like right around our house. Like he has boys that live right at the end of the street. He plays with them most of the time. Braden is his name.
What's Braden's last name?
I got all his parents' phone numbers and we talk to him all the time. But
If I could get their number too.
yeah,
So with Braden, I don't.
Braden, so they're like two families that live in the same house. They're like related. So
Well, Connor, I know. Connor's the Webster.
there's a Connor, but he goes to the Webster initially, like because they rezoned him because of the new school or whatever. So he went there last year.
Connor's mom has been with us the past day or two.
She works at
Yeah, she works at Webster.
So this is one of them.
Ian.
So like I said, I think it's two brothers and their families live in the same house. And they got like 3 or 4 kids.
But that's associated to Braden.
I think that's Braden's uncle. I got Braden's mom in there too. But you could get to him through this guy.
When was the last time that Gannon went to school?
It been last week.
Yeah, so again, I went to school on Friday.
Friday, yeah.
When does he return home from school?
I'm like 3:15-ish.
Yeah, 3:05 to 3:15.
Yeah.
They changed the new time of the school. Like it used to be like 3:30 to 3:45. Because of like snow days over there.
So Braden and Connor, are those the only two friends?
I mean,
I don't even know his parents.
I'm looking.
He wants to meet them all on top of the phone, he has one numbers. I don't even, like, I know they're performing at our house, but I don't have a block down.
There's one more. This so Lily is my daughter's friend, but she has a brother that's Gannon's age as well, and they kind of live like right behind us.
What is the brother's name?
Reese.
Reese.
I do know that because I just name the sale all the time.
So they live on the next street over, and sometimes they'll ride their bikes over there, but they mainly play with these boys, these Braden. And then right next door to them is a group of girls that my daughter plays with. I just know their mom.
Campbell.
Canberra is the mom, and that's her number right there. 801.
Oh, yeah.
CANBRA, I think.
So that's the mom of,
My daughter's friends. So it's like 3 girls.
But one of them is the age of Gannon.
Yeah, I mean, they're all, these kids are like, they range from like first grade to like they're 6.
so these are neighbors.
Yeah, basically they live 2 or 3 houses down, but they live next door to one another. And that's about it. That's all they really play with. Now he's got some other friends at school, but he never really goes to their house and stuff like that. The point of concern was this right here. This is where the concern started. I'll show you the text message he sent me. Okay, so this was, I stayed at home yesterday because his stomach was hurting.
So we went hiking on Sunday.
Okay, so yeah.
I was telling that part,
Yes.
she's about the stump. And we went to Garden of Gods and we get probably about, I don't know, a few miles out, a few feet in. He's like, oh, my stomach hurts. I'm like, it's probably because you haven't been, like exercising. Like, he's had this problem for a while because he gets like really bad constipation. And so his stomach was hurting all through the night. And you were either on the plane,
Yeah, so that's
something,
all the way
we
up.
were like texting back and forth. And I was like, should I just stay at home? Because I didn't, there was all of this stuff when I was in the bed a little bit. And so I was like, I didn't want to go to school like that. I'm scared because I'm like multiple underwear. Okay. So that
And he gets really down and embarrassed about
so
that too.
yeah, so he gets embarrassed. He's very like emotional about that type of thing because he's sad about it. So he stayed at home. Well, we went about, we went and got the dogs, some new outfits. We got 2 new puppies. So we went and got the dogs, some outfits at the pet code. I think it's on hose, Nevada, exit maybe. I don't know the numbers, but I know it's Nevada and the holes right there. And so we went in Nevada and the holes. He sat in the car because he wasn't feeling well, but I wanted to make sure he was gonna eat, and I made him some Pedialyte and stuff like that. I think that's about it. Came back, whatever. So when we came back, he was texting you. That's where you.
Yeah, so he had spilled a candle in the house, whatever. You know, he felt like he was smelling bad because it was accident. He lit a candle and was playing. He spilled the candle, so he got really upset because it made a mess with that too. So
it burned a big.
So then this is where he starts texting me. I'm in Oklahoma, so he told me my time here, blah blah blah. I'm just trying to stay positive, you know. So he's worried about. Teacher said he was really worried about getting in trouble not for the accident, but for the candle thing. So then right here, I was like, we'll talk later. And he's like, do we have bath salts? And I'm like, immediately, I know what that's all about. So I'm like, what, what's going on? Where did he even hear this from? So I immediately texted her. I was like, we have a little bit for baths and stuff. So I was like, put all the stuff we use for our baths and put it away somewhere so you can't access it. So we find out what's going on. And then I asked her for what.
Yeah. So with that, the day before, when he tells me this, I said, he came in and asked me, did we have any the day before, which was Sunday. And I gave him a bath bomb because I literally didn't know. Bath salt. I didn't know. So I gave him a bath bomb and we went to the bath. I assumed it was clueless to the bath salt until we looked at it.
So then he told me this. My friend said if I got some, we could play this weekend. And I told him no, absolutely not. So we were still talking at this point. And then he was like, he went on a little bit, but he's like, his brother has a car for a sleepover if I can come over Friday. That's kind of the end of it, that we need some more haze. So that's where we get the idea that he may have left. Well, no, he told her he was going to play. So
which she does,
which they do all the time. They walk out and they're like, where you going? Be back such time. And they're always maybe 10 minutes late, nothing like this. So I don't even know who this friend is. That's the biggest concern on the surface. That's why I always like to walk over and meet, hey, this is blah blah blah.
We don't know anyone with a car.
Yeah. Nobody that has an older sibling that drives. None of his friends that we were aware of. So from these other people, we got some names of kids on the bus that he plays with, and so we kind of hunted them down last night. What they did while I was on the way back. Found one kid named Jimmy, but he wasn't. They hadn't seen him, and then they were like, "Well, this kid has an older brother or whatever." And they went to their house, and they're like, "No, we haven't seen him." So that's when it really
gave us information that Jimmy had an older sibling. So we all went.
We think it was around putting people together.
So then Jimmy's dad answers the door, and they show the picture to Connor's mom, with the one with my daughter. She's a 17-year-old. So he's like, "Yeah, I think I know that kid." And then they were like, "Do you know Jimmy?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, that's my son." And then he was like, "I'm sorry to tell you guys, but we don't have a older child." So I don't know if she said Jimmy was the oldest, but whatever it was, Dad said there was no oldest boy that was in their home that day. But it was like he said, pieces were coming in from different kids trying to give us information and names.
See, the big deal here is it's not like, and I know kids, they get influences, but he's a homebody. I mean, I'm like the same way. He'd rather be at home playing his little Nintendo or watching cartoons. So I got to make him go ride his bike and everything. So he's not one just to walk off. And he's had times where he's been a little embarrassed about his seats still to come, but never anything to drive him or something like that. So that's why I had to come to grips with. I'm pretty convinced that something bad. We kind of took ourselves kind of broke down. He didn't feel like he's at a house where some of this stuff is going on. They convinced,
Has anybody called the school yet?
Yeah.
So the principal called this morning.
I emailed the teacher first. I'm like, can you give us any information? I knew she couldn't, but I wanted to start that dialogue. So can you give us any information about Anna's friends or anything? She's like, no, but I can go to the administration. So principal, somebody reached out last night. Her principal said he waited up front just to make sure he didn't come to school today, side or whatever. And announcement is that maybe have the information, help get in. And
they also just sent an email on the reply. The district just came to us where the principal said he's sending out all things.
Okay, so they're doing their due diligence.
So I just came to us with now.
What kind of social media accounts does it have?
So I don't even let him get online with these things. I have
Does he have a phone? Obviously, he has a phone.
it's in the truck, but like we checked through that. I checked the phone logs on my TT account, and we hadn't texted anybody other than the one friend.
So we have the capability to do a download on the phone and potentially see things that are deleted that you and I wouldn't see immediately. It would be like in cache data or whatever. Would you be willing to let us look at his phone, do that download, see just to make sure that he didn't have deleted something that we need to look at? Okay. So it's an iPhone?
Yes. You want to get that?
Yeah, that would be great if we could.
I know we'll get to that, but I brought this because some of my buddies at work were like, they didn't know how to wait to the device is to the internet somewhere.
Okay.
Or maybe he can somewhere and play this game on their Wi-Fi. Or something.
Is the Nintendo Switch missing?
Yeah, he had it with him. So like he was going to play games. That's what obviously I brought him. He was going to play games with his buddy or something.
What's the serial number on that?
That's going to be right there if I'm not mistaken. Everything should be in here. I think that's it.
Does he, other than the stomach issues, does he have any other ailments, disabilities?
He just he takes ADHD medicine, but that's never really caused him a problem. Other than he makes straight A's. He actually got his first B this past time. So
That's his phone there.
yeah, that's 922 that's good.
2922.
Yeah, let me give you this phone number. And I don't know if you have to subpoena information or not, but so my friend looked this up and found, it said that, police can subpoena connection location for the switch, and that's, and he found something on the internet that said that. So it's at least worth looking into, I think.
Yeah, we've got a database of stuff that we work with, so we'll be able to find a contact if that service exists with that. Any, show you, can I show you something? Yeah, I mean, I know you'll find out, but I'm just not sure about the issue.
Oh, yeah, he looked up only one, something that was.
Oh, that's, okay, where's the history? Are there any other children in the home? Oh,
I'm sorry, I have to go.
you turned a 17-year-old, so, biologically both of yours?
You know, so I have Gannon and my 8-year-old daughter. And their mom is on the way now, so she's gonna be here. But
What's your sister's name?
Lena, Laina,
What's her date of birth?
12212.
And you have custody of both of them?
I do.
What is
Well,
mom's name?
technically shared, but they live with me and go to seniors summer. So we call it shared, but I really have this. Mom's name is Landon, Landens.
Do you know her last name?
Hiott.
Date of birth?
1185. And we have one other child in the home as well, her biological daughter.
Okay, what is mom's phone number?
Phone number?
Yep. And you said it's your biological daughter?
Harley. H-U-N-T, no, Harley.
Oh, Harley.
Yes, I
What's Harley's date of birth?
5102.
You mentioned younger children in the home.
Well, mainly I was meeting Elena because here's what happened. One of the people called this morning and she was sleeping and heard a lot of conversations and she's been like just crying and things like that. So, yeah, and she already has like, I don't know, preconditioner with anxiety, but she gets very,
It's worked out.
yeah, worked up easily. So she's having a hard time because like the National Guard came earlier, so many people have been comment, so it's a lot.
Like I said, I guess the search history had been deleted, but like that right there, Monday afternoon. I don't know. I don't see a time on that, so I don't know when that happened, but I'm sure that can be found. But it says, can my parent find myself in his office? So I don't know if he intended to take the phone.
Where does FGTV live?
So this FGTV, some little kids show that they watch, what the kids watch, and they got
Like famous YouTubers.
it's like a YouTube thing that's going on. So. But he
Is
left
he
the phone.
talking, is he talking to 8 girls?
No, actually, I joked with him about that, but
He
yeah,
had a puberty class and he was like,
Yeah.
"Ew, I don't want to do like, and
they just had a puberty class at school, so he's still in the doing things. Yeah, good.
now, if you see the messages that say to mommy in the last day, that's me talking to his mom. Because I don't give her mom.
Just get any searchable stuff on the maps. So he searched for 10315 declaration of refuge.
Declaration is probably somewhere.
It's always.
Yeah, it's probably,
Oh, glory.
yeah, it's probably something that we were, it could have been things that.
What date was that? 10315 declaration drive.
When was that started?
It says traffic homes, Wilson Ranch. Yeah, I mean, that's our neighborhood. Right. Declaration.
Well, I didn't look for any declaration.
Definitely lives on Camp Yard, so.
Yeah.
But we were driving around over there and somebody said that they saw a camera. It was on the old road address on there. Wow, I didn't think about looking at that. But this kind of doesn't make any sense because he went the other direction.
Let's see, I feel like that's someone's address. I mean, some of the people. It's only because like,
So this is how it was, when I pulled up his map, I don't have his whatever. When I just that address. So when I click on it,
if you just do Austin Ranch, so is that the random address for that office? I don't know declaration.
bring up his map to see what route. I'll send the car down that. We'll figure out what that is. I know it's right there. I'm about this. They'll drive by the house. But it's kind of farther towards the school than our house. So that backside. Yeah, we're up right at the front. That first section.
What model iPhone is that?
That's like a 6.
Search.
Yeah.
They're over here.
So this here is a computer, so we're going to use cell phone. So basically, what the cell phone waivers would say is that we're going to dump this phone with your permission. You have the constitutional right not to have it searched without having a warrant. I think that at this point, time would be good. Started.
Yes.
Everything that's on that, to include all deleted items, everything, it just makes a copy of everything. And then we'll get it back to you and we'll analyze the copy that we take from it. Again, it's you're providing consent. I can't force you into doing it. And I would have to obtain a search warrant if you didn't consent.
28.
I believe so. Yep.
28.
So we'll keep the phone and start searching through that. Where might he go other than, does he have any other relatives in the area?
No,
No relatives in the area?
it's just us and those few friends. Yeah, I don't know. I don't recognize it.
We're close to the car over there.
Okay.
Figure out why it's in the car. Did you ask about the bath salt house address?
Yeah, so we don't know that, just the friend. We don't know who the friend is.
I can show you all. It said,
That's it.
he said to me with bath salts, like, do we have any?
Does he want to take him to a friend's house?
Yeah, let me pull up so I don't get it wrong.
What did you do for you?
Oh, thank you.
Then I got another water for you guys.
Thank you so much. So you can just read through it. It starts, I was in Oklahoma, it's in the dark right there, so you can just scroll down. So you get the details we do with him. He's been having some stomach problems, so that's when he talks about his tummy. He had a little middle accident, dropped a candle, so he's upset about that, but then you can read what's part of the bath salts. And in context with that, at the same time, as soon as you said bath salts, I got on the phone with her and was like, hey, we do have something to take, you know, we should take bath salts and stuff.
Yeah.
I said, get it all hide it, put it away.
And I told him,
Figure out what's going on.
you did ask me the day before.
Yeah.
And I gave him, because I didn't.
So like, she's very vague. There's no like friend's name or where they live or anything. Because the intent was to have that conversation face to face or whatever.
I'm sorry, when did you say you went to Fort Hill?
I left Sunday morning. Well, actually, I went Sunday night because my mom flew out Saturday night. My flight was Sunday morning, and then I got there Sunday, that one day of class, and then this all happened Monday night. So, which was yesterday. I came back and
What time did you guys go to Petco?
I don't know. I probably looked at what time we set the alarm.
Okay.
that was Sunday, right?
No, Sunday was, yeah, hiking Sunday.
So you go to Petco Sunday?
No, we went,
Petco Monday?
yeah, it was just me again and again on the car because the stomach.
Okay.
Because Lena went, but it's hiking, but Lena was. I was supposed to be. So.
Tell you what, yesterday was 27. So what the heck is? So you send the car to the house?
The only thing I can think of though, if that was the person that we took the jingle basket to,
Oh, Jesus.
but Anna was with me. So if it ends up being the person, like the neighborhood to the jingle basket, that's the only thing, because it was somebody in Wilson Ranch. So you go like, the people, but that would have been December. So I don't know what they got. I don't know if that's their address. I'm just saying that.
Any clothes missing?
I mean, like I said, like literally from what she explained, everything was consistent with I'm going to play with my friends. So it was like whatever clothes he had on, we make him put his play shoes on. We got nice shoes and play shoes. He had his play shoes on. So I mean, it was pretty obvious that his intent was like, I'm not leaving, but I'm going to play, and I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. And she let him take a switch. I mean, don't really ever do that. So.
When was the last time he talked to his mom, his biological mother?
Or something. He talks to her, right? They talk almost, I'd say 5 times a week. I know he talked to her Friday, Saturday, because my mom was here and, you know, he was on the phone in person.
Sorry, there's just a lot of 27 numbers trying to say.
My mom's coming in from.
Yeah, she's on the way now. I think she just got on a plane, South Carolina. Yeah, that's where we're all originally from, South Carolina, but I'm here for the military stuff. I mean, not to add any confusion to it, but like the mom's married to a guy that's got a lot of trouble with the law. That was one of my first instincts when it was like when the come and go thing came up, and they said that he walked in all nonchalant, like everything was normal. It was like the dude was here or something, because he's got a lot of trouble like that in his background. So I was like, it came to my mind. So I put it down. But I mean, I don't know if it's anything legit.
Does she have your address?
Yeah, she does.
I know it says I disarmed the van on Monday, January 27th at 2:29. So that's when we would have, and I set the back door closed because I would have like let the dogs out back then. So that's when
That's when you got home?
came home. I'm still scrolling up. I just didn't want to have to go to the back. And then let's see, it says basement motion. I might have didn't set. I might have set the alarm. It's not showing when I set the alarm, but it says living room and basement motion at 10:10 a.m. Oh, here it is. Armed by master right here. So Monday, January 27th, I alarmed the alarm at 10:05 a.m.
10:05, guys went.
That's what time I armed it. So I'm assuming, yeah, because we had motion that morning because we were there.
Which alarm do you use?
ADC.
What did you participate in? Bingo?
But they do these little basket things where like they would like a group on Facebook or wherever, with like 17 women and 10 families, just set a dollar amount. It's like, okay, you bring a basket of stuff to their house. So it's like a Secret Santa, I don't know, something like that, but for the neighborhood.
I could either look on the lady who sends it. You want to see if that's the address she said?
It doesn't matter what considered part of the
Okay.
link. So we'll make contact, verify.
Okay.
It's weird to get another address on.
Yeah.
Cause that, I mean, if that's like recent, or no,
I don't have a way to see when it was so, the address is the only address on there.
right, right.
Has he ever left before?
So, I mean, I know your parents says this, but he's a pretty straight up kid. And, if ever he does wrong, like the only thing he ever sneaks is, playing his games if he's grounded or something. That's it. I mean, other than that, he does his chores. I mean, he makes straight A's, kind-hearted. I mean, he busted with his sister.
And to add to that, I know Fiore was saying that the counselor has said every,
Yes.
yeah,
So I because of, so his mom in the situation with her husband, like she basically lost everything. Doesn't have a place to live, gone through a lot, on drugs and stuff. So I got custody of them. It's been pretty hard, for any kid. And I went through some of that as a kid, so I was like, let's get them counseling, just to be certain there's nothing that they're doing, and they know it's okay to talk. So they go like once a month on base, and I always ask at the end of the session, hey, is there anything alarming that you brought up or anything I need to know about? And
yeah, she always says
for
that.
him, it's nothing. That he's just open, and he's going through normal emotions of loving mom and loving dad and stuff like that, but nothing like, hey, you need to.
Does he go on Carson?
Yes.
And what's his counselor's name?
Dr. Burton, I have her number.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Looking through this phone and listening to you, it's exactly as if through a 12-year-old's phone. He communicates over a couple of game chats. They play the game one, You got this kid,
This is it right here. And I refuse, unless he's done it behind my back. I know he gets on YouTube and watches some stuff, but I've absolutely said no online gaming. So unless he's got on there and figured it out, then
So not necessarily communicating through the game, you have apps and stuff. If you can talk back and forth with your
maybe I,
lobby game and stuff, and he likes using those instead of text messages. If you present you a different app, I was looking to see if I recognize any of the or something you did this before.
Yeah.
So I don't recognize any of them on there from what you do.
yeah, and usually, once again, he's pretty innocent by telling us, or at least hinting at things. And he's never even like said, oh, I learned this from this. How he learns is he researches like YouTube and stuff.
I can see a lady who's talking to you on her text messages about dealing in trouble, these things, and stuff like
But
that.
I did block him from the Wi-Fi because he was using TikTok out of something about some choking game.
Yeah, I noticed, and paying attention to what the news and all that. I banned them from TikTok and said remove it from all your devices because of the bad. I'm sure there's good stuff with that stuff that encourages those challenges or whatever.
When was that?
Within the past week.
Yeah, I took him off, like, he was on the Xfinity block.
Yeah,
And shut myself.
yeah, he did
So
that.
I did that because I look over and it was some people were choking and reporters. I don't know what it was like. I guess they got high,
This is counseling.
like you choke yourself or something. And so he was laughing, but I think he saw it as just people being silly. I don't think he was realizing like how serious that was. So I told him the story of her, which was a true story. He was playing a quarter game and it went down his throat. And he had to be rushed to the hospital, blah, 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 blah. So then he kind of looked at me like, like it was serious. So I didn't think anything else about it. Didn't think he was going to do anything like that. I just thought he thought it was funny.
To see the kid is so like tender-hearted, like his. I know kids are obviously influenced, that, but he would never like smoking or anything like that because his mom's got into that stuff since we split up, and stepdad as well, and then his grandma, his mom's mom smokes real bad, and so he knows that causes bad stuff.
But then the thing was in his book bag.
What was in his book bag?
So she found after the bath salts, I said go check his book bag just in case. Initially she found nothing, but then after he disappeared, they went back and
No, I didn't ever go look at it initially.
oh, I thought you looked at it.
No, you asked me to go look at it, but I think I was doing other things.
So they
I said
found
early.
a 2-pack of those little Swisher Sweets.
Yeah, I said
So-
early to go look at it.
I don't know. Somebody had to give him those
When did you find those?
last night.
Yeah, so I sent Harley to go do it. So Harley was like pulling out the book bag stuff and she's like, oh, I didn't see anything. And then the folder, she got a folder and dropped a folder, so she immediately used the text out. But didn't look like anything was used.
Those kids at the end of grade.
Brayden and Connor.
Connor not as much because I don't know. Did they talk to the police last night?
Connor's mom did.
I was mom with them, but I was texting the other parents because they were out in the neighborhood looking. Yeah, out in the neighborhood looking around. Yeah.
You talked to Brady's parents.
I'm not sure if y'all talked to Brady.
I know they talked to Brady's mom, so she was at it.
Okay, all right, there you go.
I don't know that you talked to Connor's mom, but I do know she was there at the time everyone was there.
What is the Rubicon Drive address?
Rubicon Drive, actually.
So Lily and the friends that live on that address. Okay,
9865 Rubicon Drive.
I don't know the number, but the Lily and Reese I spoke about earlier, they live on Rubicon, which I think is the street right behind us. Is that Rubicon?
Yeah, Rubicon's behind us, but I don't know anybody. I thought Gaplin was behind us.
Okay, hold on, let me look at it.
What is it again?
9865 Rubicon Drive.
What is this? It's something.
We go to the usual hangout, yeah.
Oh, okay. Who gave you this?
It was listed in the report. You guys gave it to him.
Yeah, I didn't give anybody no.
So there was information you wanted to go to a party with the assaults. That was a sleepover. Is that right?
No, he said I want to go to a friend's house. They said bring bath salts and my older brother were around.
Yeah.
That's piecing it all together, but in good terms, that's.
Yeah, I didn't know it was the same thing.
But,
Anybody.
so this Rubicon, so we live on Mandan right here. That Rubicon would be those boys, that Braden's family right here. I'm sure that's,
Okay, so that's Brady's house.
I would assume that because they don't know anybody else in Rubicon.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And Lily and Reese, well, I don't know, Rubicon goes around here, so unless he was going to somewhere right there, I don't know, but the boys do live there, Rubicon. Lily and Reese live on Capitol.
So we also have a deputy back over at the time ago. So we asked them to send us the videos. They can't do it in the store. They have to do it in the corporate office. To wireless system or whatever, they cloud. I just send it to the deputies. We go back over to do that.
Linda Reese. Or Reese Linda.
Oh, at that declaration house? I mean, to know if there's any kids there, we'd have to go to the school possibly.
That's what they're doing now. So they're down to see anybody home. They have any kids. So say, and then why do it search that address, et cetera, and start from there. So we're headed down and do that now. Get me over. Get a look at the over there. Did you talk to Deputy Donatello yesterday?
Would it's been late last night?
No, we've been doing. It would have been probably before 4 p.m.
I'm trying to, the only deputy I spoke with that I remember, one called me because we were getting overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I don't know who I spoke with. They were at the house though, right?
There's a lot.
I think they were at the house, and then, Donahue, Sean Donahue.
Now, Chris Donatello.
This is a Vasco County, yes. Deputy Sean Donahue, I think is the one I talked to because he said he would text me the case number. And then he said, we got come and go footage. So I texted him back. Yeah, I mean, you can do this.
So the deputy that went down the comic show, the clerk said, oh yeah, he was getting it. The deputy reviewed the video. He did not get it.
He doesn't watch.
With the one viewed today or last night?
Last night. He's going back again today.
So see, Donahue said basically that it was. They said there was nothing out of the ordinary. He didn't see him under arrest. He left on foot. He only purchased a bag of chips. And I continued to ask him questions about.
First of all, he got to from the clerk. And the clerk said, yeah, no. But the deputy went through the video. The kid is back for the video buying the chips.
Yeah.
He doesn't think it's your thumb.
Okay.
But he doesn't go over there back now. And we can go there and look at it, but we can't get a copy of it.
Yeah.
It's not there video.
I mean, I was over there when I don't know who was over there at like 11:30. There was another deputy over there right now.
That would not have been the guy over at my home.
Yeah, so we were driving around. I saw a squad car, whatever, there pulled in, and I said, "Hey, can I look at the footage?" He said, "Like, I don't have permission for that." But he said, "I've looked over an hour and a half. I don't see scripts under sun or something that's close to it."
What kind of iPod sign in? Sorry.
Let's text real quick. It's in my note. Fix the kid stop.
I'll need a username and password.
Yeah, I got it in my phone.
You see anything in our report? Video. I saw a screenshot on the phone, but on a sidewalk or something like that. You guys,
Somebody said that.
So there's been like 100 videos, photos that I went through, and I know that a couple of them were what appears to be him because it's the same outfit, the same looks like him. There were people scrolling on them. So we had like 400 comics to go through.
So that should be the iCloud.
We sent it.
Username and password for his phone.
Was available. We wrote it back.
Then
Or whatever. So yeah.
yeah, you can write on it. That's the Gmail username and password.
So yeah, we
Do you care if I just take a picture of that?
You have a screenshot and send it to you over that.
That's
like it was on Gaplin. One of them I sent to my cousin. I just don't remember what this
It's really weird to get there. That's
Gaplin's behind us.
all these chapters.
Oh yeah, no, Gaplin. Yes.
Way up in the city.
All right, what's your number?
719-208-1406.
So you know, software.
And I just left that's my daughter's iCloud too. Not that it'll be matter, but just in case, I just left that one on there for you.
You're pretty sure that's one?
Yeah. Okay. But I mean,
So where was this one taken out?
I need to look at it later. If we give that, this probably the private same thing, but
I can give you a number. You can send a picture to it. I'm gonna send it to the guy that's over that video. 719.
so.
Within 565. And that one was somewhere like that.
Yeah, what video here? We didn't.
You can get over the comment board.
Oh, I say I was like, I don't really make up some police officer.
So I did see he had a whole bunch of emails for somebody.
Well, this is why. This is fine. So we'll all be in there. They only let you do the just for you, keep on cooking. So everybody in the house with phones have to get. social.
In the system.
Well, our son gets kind of email from.
You notice big stickers on this.
I email box.
Yeah.
That's your point.
That's why it's that's all. That's. And then I'll get in there and be like, what number am I putting in and try them all.
Has anybody searched the guys' house yet?
Yeah, so that was the first thing they did was about 6 people showed up and because we waited about 4 hours. And the first thing they come in, they just were like, hey, we need to get your ID. Maybe you have to run in like I guess like search and stuff like that. And then they said, well, typically or sometimes kids can like hide and someone told me something about it's gonna be in the jar, not realize that they couldn't breathe, like different places. So the guy went through every room and all the officers and everybody else like stood this way. And he did like flashlights and checked all the spots to make sure he wasn't like hiding, because at this point it had already been so long. If he doesn't ever come in to hide, he might do like a play, like jump out behind a thing, but not like anything specific. Yeah, so he went in like all of our closets. We like moved stuff. Everybody was silent. Then we looked at the alarm to see like if there was any motion that might have been in any direction that we, like we didn't know. And so I didn't do it. He did it. We spent a while doing that. Went over certain things. Like they walked me around. They were like, does he always leave this here? The clothes that were laid out, because when he goes out of town and it's just me there, I try to lay out all the clothes, and I do it for him too if I'm somewhere, so they can just get up and find the clothes. So they were like, all these clothes are laid out. And I was like, yeah, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because he's got like 2 beds. So he used to see other men just like lay out all this stuff. So they walk through, he just ask them simple questions. Would you normally do this? Would you normally do that?
We're on a Nintendo right now. Does he have a gamer ID on that Switch?
Yeah, you don't remember the outcome for him? Did it come through on his phone?
Can I see this one? It might be
Absolutely. Yeah, we had one, and then we got the nuisance, and we just created one was pretty much password.
When he goes to play, I know you had said that you have to like basically kick him out the door to go ride his bike event, but when he does play outside, where does he go?
Goes to Braden's house.
Well, you don't have to kick him outside if he's not on his medicine. If he's not on his medicine, he's hyper, he'll go to. But if he's on his medicine, it's more like till it wears off, just if it's 5 minutes or 8 each. So until it wears off, it might be like I don't want to play, like it's zombie mode at first. So when it wears off, like if it's a weekend, we get it because we have to go to church, he would not go outside on Sunday because it's still in his system at church. But he didn't take it because he didn't take it Saturday. He didn't take it because we went hiking. Because we did a 6-mile hike. He didn't take it Sunday. I'm sorry, that was Sunday. He didn't take it Saturday. He didn't take it Sunday. He didn't take it Monday, which causes stomach problems. So he was off his medicine. I don't even think we ever go.
They said that the manager of the store says it knows the kid. He comes in with his dad. So, which we constantly commonly have, sometimes something goes, oh, yes, yes. So they said the kid in they're saying it's him. They said he knows him. He comes in all the time too. So it's like they don't show back on. Definitely not enough for clerks and helpers. No, I don't know.
This says is this. I don't know if that's.
We go get gas over here.
That's always there. Purchase, so that's on.
Associated.
It should be there.
I don't think he was last year. Sounds like. So I don't need to be last year. The guy that Brisky was quoting me, there's all him saying, I'm not working. He's saying, yeah, I know. I'm like, this guy from all the time. I should just not do that.
Yeah, no, I don't think I might have been one time.
The deputy was looking, the deputy did not think it was him. He's going down to see if this chick that he sees in the store, that he might be chilling with her. It's like into the car. I don't think that's what you I don't think he made it. It could be wrong, but it does not look like that's me based on
What you do, yes, I do think.
I have a lieutenant and a deputy going down for that. Like right now, we're going down and talk to them. Deputies, so look this morning, checking the golf course.
Yeah, because we saw him put the light on and we thought like there was people out there, but they were doing like another call, so he like kind of chased them down.
No, it was actually for you. They didn't know what they were going to find and whatnot. I didn't want to leave people around up. They were checking on it. They were turning away from their shed. It was in that golf course area.
Oh.
So they went in and started. You can see what the pushed down. He was not. But I want you to know, I just now wasn't looking, but it was a or
because they were just like, we were going to talk to somebody and we both drove off and was like, we both drove to make sure we both drove off and we're going in the woods because we thought like everybody ever drove off.
So they were going into that. I mean, there's an abandoned shed or something back there. They were in there, it's in, people going there, they were going there.
Okay, thank you. I mean, like, I'm glad they weren't like Santa Cruz.
They just didn't want to.
Right.
You got to think you might be over here.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
Running toward the shed. You guys can mark it. I would like to talk to you. I have to talk to your kids. You know what I mean? They might know what his party is supposed to be.
What color is Braden's house?
I don't talk to the parents.
I don't handle anything. I don't even know. I think it's like 10. I've never spoken to the parents. So now.
Who would your husband know?
Yeah, I think it's like 10. You know, I drove by it. I saw
Eugene?
Oh,
What color is Braden's house?
I told her I didn't know.
Is it on your street?
So coming our neighborhood, our house is like north end, something like that. The intersection, dead end right here. There's Canberra, who I referenced, and then Braden. Basically, you go straight to their house from the intersection.
So this is
This is us. That's Mandan. Rubicon. Rubicon.
Find out about that declaration. Now that nobody's there, we'll start doing back search.
Braden and then Campbell.
And go from there.
We'll be out there trying.
You said,
Campbell, which she's in there somewhere. And
where's Connor at?
Connor, they live over oh,
Like Academy or something?
somewhere, yeah, way over up Academy. It's just his mom teaches at that Webster school or works there, so he goes to that.
They Connor's mom's number. Did you do it for that? No, we got sidetracked into 15 other things.
Yeah.
Sorry. So
I don't have-
Brayden is on Rubicon.
Goes by Canyon. Goes by Canyon, yeah.
Connor's mom?
You guys let me know when you'll be down that section. Okay, we'll do. Well, we're doing everything we can for you right now. Thank you so much. You guys have your number. Make sure you're always charged, okay?
Okay, thank you. Okay, that'll work.
And so this is school. It's down here, Grand Mountain. Just a reference. And what is it? What is Fontaine? Fontaine is the main drag coming in. Mark Shuffle.
I do know that word.
We're the first term when you come in. So anyways.
Okay, perfect. So what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna, do you have a card on you? I don't have a card. We're gonna head down to talk to see if we can get a hold of Brayden. See the time. Sorry, time might be. Oh, I got you. Might be at school. We may, and he goes to Grand Mountain.
Yeah, they all, the whole neighborhood does not.
Except Connor. Okay.
Well, Connor, because he's way over here somewhere. I'll just have it. But Braden does.
3 times talk to Brayden. We're gonna get a dump on the phone. Sergeant Hess, the guy that was sitting here, he's also working on things in the area too with other patrols. He's sort of like the lead for out in the field. We're gonna see what information we can gather from there. And I will inform you guys as soon as I can. We'll be fine. If something comes up, no matter how minute, please call us. Okay. The 208 number that you texted, that's my direct dial. So, and I think I called you from it, so you should have it in your phone. So yeah, hit me up, let me know what's going on. If I don't answer immediately, send me a text too. Okay. Okay. All right, guys.
All right, that's a good place for a break. Ladies and gentlemen, we will take our morning break. If I can have everyone back in the jury room at say 10:40, we should be able to start on time at that point. All rise for the jury, please. Thank you. May all be seated. The record should reflect the jury has left the courtroom. Ms. Bethel, I want to apologize to you. I didn't realize that the video was, or the audio was going to be that long. I would have offered you a seat in the gallery as we have other witnesses, because that witness chair is not the most comfortable to be sitting there for 55 minutes and 12 seconds listening to something. So next time we'll do a better job about that. So what are we doing next?
Just continue with her. There'll be another video here shortly that is much shorter. Let's see, 3 minutes and 43 seconds will be coming up here in just a little bit. And then we'll get into the really long one, which is 4 hours and 19 minutes.
Okay. So we'll probably get about a little less than half of that done before lunch.
Hopefully, yeah.
Just find a good breaking point for that, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Court will be in recess. Just
All right.
You can go ahead and step down. Thank you. is there?
And it's, yeah, proud of it, but it's easy, but.
You just gotta remember to do it because it would be disastrous otherwise.
It's gonna be a disaster.
It just is, that camera's view, when it automatically reboots up and starts again, every time we start it, it has the whole jury box.
Oh,
And so you have to zoom it in to cut out Ms. Gratiano, so that we know that we're not getting the jury box. And because there's a juror that sits right behind her too, so you can't. All rise for the jury, please. Thank you. You may all be seated. Record should reflect the jury have returned to the courtroom. We'll recall 20 CR 1358, People versus Letecia Stainch. Mr. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. So after we had a chance to watch that initial conversation that you had, I guess the initial recorded conversation that you had with the defendant, I want to clear up some things that we hear in there. In your initial question and answers prior to us getting into actually watching the video, you mentioned that there were concerns about any health issues. Did some of that come out in this particular recording?
Yes, it did.
Was that the ADHD and the bleeding from the rectum report?
Yes.
There was reference of a Petco on North Nevada that the defendant indicated she had visited. Is that the area up at University Village dominated sort of by that Costco that's in that shopping center?
Yes, it is.
There was reference to a Nintendo Switch and trying to track that. During the investigation, did you learn whether you could or could not do any tracking on the Nintendo Switch?
We could not track the Switch.
Did you learn later that the Switch was actually found in the house?
I did.
There's lots of discussion in that video, or that recording, I should say, about things that required investigative resources. Do you remember hearing those things?
Yes.
Does that include going to different residences, like that? I think it's 10350 Declaration Drive, to look for potentially clues that would lead to discovery of where Gannon might be?
Yes.
In your experience as a seasoned homicide investigator and detective, is time an important element in an investigation?
Yes, it is.
Is the fact that resources are being expended to chase down potentially a runaway child as opposed to a homicide investigation, did that waste valuable time in the investigation?
Yes.
And was that wasting of resources a direct result of misdirection from the defendant?
It is.
During your course of conversation with the defendant at that Starbucks on January 28th, is this essentially the fourth time at least that she's given this story that Gannon has run away? Meaning there's a 911 call, the call for service, reporting it to Al, and then now reporting it to you in this recorded phone call.
Yes.
So almost a quadrupling down of that runaway story.
Yes.
What was her demeanor like? I guess because we can only hear what is being said. What were her outward demeanor expressions like? Were they normal?
She was calm and collected.
Did she ever change personalities while you were with her during this recorded interaction?
No, she did not.
Was her personality consistent throughout that interaction?
Yes, it was.
And then there was reference to, by the defendant, there was reference to ADT data to show what time she had returned from doing the run to Petco. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Did you also during this investigation become aware of neighborhood ring or doorbell cameras that caught that action as well?
Yes.
That confirmed sort of that timeline?
Yes.
Was it consistent during your course of this investigation that there would be some kernel that could be confirmed, a kernel of truth that could be confirmed from the defendant, wrapped around things that were unconfirmable or turned out to be totally false?
Yes.
Some point later that particular day, 3:45 p.m., did you reach out to the defendant again by phone to request particular items?
I did.
What were those items?
I requested that she bring a toothbrush and or hairbrush with her of Gannon's
What was the purpose for that?
to collect for DNA purposes to develop a DNA profile.
Is that a common thing to do in a missing child case like this?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because if the child is located and is deceased, we're able to identify them.
By comparing the DNA from the body to the DNA profile that you might gather from toothbrush or hairbrush?
Yes.
Were you making efforts to get the defendant down to the sheriff's office to sit for a formal interview?
Yes.
While that was happening, did Al Stout, Gannon's father, show up at the sheriff's office and actually sit for an interview?
Yes, he did.
Was that about 4:30 p.m. on January 28th?
Yes.
Did you send a text to the defendant asking her to come down at roughly the same time?
I did.
Did she come down?
No, she did not.
Did she even respond to your text message?
I don't believe she responded initially, no.
Okay. Later that evening at about 6 p.m., did you get a call from the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And what was the call? Was it to your cell phone?
Yes.
Does the sheriff's office have areas in the building that make cell phone service difficult?
Yes, they do.
Did you experience that with this particular phone call?
Yes, I did.
So what did you do in response to that?
Because I wasn't able to completely talk to Letecia on the phone, I hung up with her and I called from a landline located within the sheriff's office.
Did you get a better connection on that?
I did.
Was that particular phone call recorded?
No, it was not.
Do you remember what she told you or what the discussion was during that phone call?
She was discussing her relationship with Gannon and Lena. She told me about how her parenting and Al's parenting was separate, that they never formally adopted each other's children, that she wasn't allowed to make parenting decisions for Gannon or Lena, and Al was not allowed to make parenting decisions for Harley.
Okay. And then did she tell you during this particular phone call the last time that she actually saw Gannon, at least the way that she's reporting it?
She did. She mentioned that she saw him, I believe it was between 3:15 and 4, and she had mentioned that there was a TV show on that she had liked to watch. And I asked her what that TV show was, and she could not tell me the name of the TV show.
Did she describe the clothing that Gannon was last seen wearing by her?
Yes, she did.
What was that?
She said it was a blue shirt, blue pants, and his tennis shoes.
Did she also mention a blue hoodie?
Yes.
Did you ask her during this phone call if she would come down and talk with you at the sheriff's office?
Yes.
Did she accept that invitation or did she decline it?
She declined.
Did she give you a reason why she was declining it?
She said that her stomach was bothering her and she was having to make multiple stops at different Walgreens to use the restroom.
Later on at about 7:03 p.m., did you get another call from the defendant?
I did.
What was that phone call about?
She was FaceTiming me and she was mad because her daughter was left alone with a bunch of men in the home, she claimed. At that time, the sheriff's office was at the home to get Lena at Al's request.
So I think that's later on when she's asking about that. Would that potentially been at 11:52 p.m., that particular call? A FaceTime call where she's upset about needing Al to come home?
That could have been, yes.
Okay. I guess after that 7:03 call, did you get another call from Al in which he was upset?
Yes, I did.
What was that all about?
Al called me and he was sobbing. I could tell that he was upset. And he told me that he didn't tell us everything. He had previously done an interview with my partner, Mark Riley. And he explained that Letecia had rented a vehicle from the airport when she picked him up and that he did not disclose that to us.
Did he also talk about trying to find her normal vehicle, the black T1?
Yes.
Was he able to find it?
He was not, no.
Was that causing him distress, at least as he's relaying it to you?
Yes.
Did that lead to him coming back into the sheriff's office for another interview?
Yes.
And then later on that night, about 10:45 p.m., did you get a text message from the defendant? A rather long text message?
She's texted me multiple times that night, yes.
Do you remember the specific content of that text message?
I don't, for that time frame.
Okay. If I showed you a report, would that refresh your memory as to the specific content of that text message?
Yes.
Your may approach?
Me.
This paragraph here. Have a chance to review that? And for the record, what I'd handed to Detective, Ms. Bethel is pagination 01-0043. Did that refresh your memory as to this longer text message?
Yes.
What did the text message say to you?
She was asking what I wanted from her, and she was saying that she was being set up and that she learned that information from a fellow Blue with El Paso County.
Was that basically an implication that she had an inside source to the investigation to you?
Yes.
Did that turn out to be true?
No, it was not true.
Did she also express during that text message the same sort of thing that she was upset about her daughter being in the house with people from the sheriff's office, men from the sheriff's office?
Yes.
Did she relay in that particular text message the idea that she could hear what was being discussed inside the home because of cameras or something in the home?
Yes.
Did you respond to her?
I did.
What did you respond with?
I asked her if she had any information to help me find Gannon.
Did you also invite her to come into the sheriff's office to talk with you?
Yes.
Did she accept or what happened?
She declined.
Can you retrieve that page from you? And then just a few minutes after that, 11:52 p.m., is this the FaceTime call that you got from the defendant?
Yes.
Was this a recorded FaceTime call?
Yes, it was.
Audio recorded?
Yes.
May I approach with People's Exhibit 336?
Me.
Do you recognize People's Exhibit 336?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize it?
It is a FaceTime interview with Letecia.
Have you had a chance to listen to the content of that disc?
Yes, I have.
Is the recording file on there a fair and accurate representation of the audio of that FaceTime call?
Yes, it is.
At this time, I move for admission of People's Exhibit 336 and ask for permission to publish.
All right, you may go ahead.
Are you accepting it as being admitted?
Yes, it's admitted.
Okay.
You can go ahead and play it. I'm sorry, I was distracted because I was looking down at this. This is, while it says FaceTime, it's only audio, right?
It's only audio, yeah. And just so that the record is clear, I never did hear whether there was an objection or not from defense as to it moving admission.
All right, exhibit 336 will be admitted.
I'm just trying to figure out if you got your message about something. I talked to you earlier. You didn't say anything else. I'm just trying to be opportunity. Is that what you want me to do? What's going on? You talked to me. Now you want to talk to me again?
You sent me that message saying I don't know what you want from me, so.
Yes, because I mean, my child could leave. I couldn't go home. I don't have anywhere to sleep. I mean, like I just don't understand.
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, that's what kind of came out of left field for me. All I'm trying to do is gather information to find Gannon.
I don't understand what you mean came out of left field. My own child could not leave. So how is that out of left field?
What do you mean your child couldn't leave?
She was trying to go to Starbucks and was left there and forced to stay there with men in and out the home by herself.
Okay, I don't know what happened at your home. I know that she was offered the opportunity to come into the office and she didn't want to, so she didn't go into the office.
But what does she need to go in the office for? She can't go get food. She can't go get coffee. And have you asked why she gets coffee? Either Starbucks have to say that she gets coffee like every day. Hello.
Is there anything more that you might be able to share with me to help me find Gannon?
Asking me this.
Where are you now?
You keep asking me this over and over and over.
Where are you now?
I'm not going in to talk to you
Okay.
without an attorney when you already talked to me earlier.
Okay, and that's perfectly fine.
But I just don't understand what's going on.
Do you have any further information to give me that may help me find Gannon? Any new developments, new
I
information?
told you this.
Okay, well then I'm gonna go ahead and end the conversation then, because we've already spoken.
Okay, so why do you keep saying because someone came and looking for me, wanting me to go talk to them, so now it's you. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
You and I have already spoken. If you don't want to come in to speak with me at the office, that's completely fine.
So why was someone
I don't know. And so what I'm saying at this point in time, Letecia, is if you don't have any other information for me to actively look through to find Gannon, there's no point in me continuing this conversation. I need to get off the phone here and start working on leads and developments. All right, thanks.
So, first of all, where were you when you got that FaceTime call?
I was in the sheriff's office.
The other noises that you can sort of hear in the background, do you know what those other noises were?
To me, if I remember correctly, it sounded like windshield wipers on a car.
Okay, making that weird moaning sound.
Yes, they're rhythmic.
The sounds like potentially her demeanor is a little bit different than what was happening at Starbucks. How would you describe that?
She was angry with me.
And angry because of the idea of trying to get her down and talk to you at the sheriff's office?
I'm not exactly sure why she was angry with me, but she was angry with me.
What was your goal? What were you trying to achieve as you're accepting this FaceTime call from her?
I thought that maybe she had additional information for me to follow up on so I could find Gannon.
And did she resist that giving you additional information that might help find Gannon?
Yes.
Besides the fact that she's expressing anger, did she have a consistent personality with what you had experienced in a previous phone call and at Starbucks?
Yes.
There was reference made by her that she wasn't going to come down and talk to you at the sheriff's office unless she had an attorney.
Correct.
Did that indicate that she had a good understanding of what her rights might be if she does come down?
Yes.
What was your answer?
Yes.
And then did you basically throughout that night, early morning hours, were you getting text messages from the defendant?
Yes, I was.
What was the nature of those text messages?
A lot of them were about her, focused around her. I kept asking her to come in to talk to me if she had any additional information for me. And eventually in the early morning hours of the 29th, she gave me a story that she needed to talk to me. She was asking for a friend if we released information to the media. I told her we did not. She said something that had happened to her and she couldn't tell me around Albert because he would be mad and would become violent. And I ultimately arranged an interview for her, which was supposed to start at 10 o'clock at the sheriff's office on that Wednesday.
10 o'clock a.m.?
Yes.
Okay. Was it odd to you, as you're describing those text messages, the early text messages, that the focus from her perspective was on her as opposed to finding Gannon?
Absolutely, yes.
Why was that odd?
In my experience, investigating other crimes and investigating other missing children, the parents are always willing to give me whatever information they can to find their child. And I've never experienced a parent being concerned about their own well-being or welfare while their child is missing.
In those text messages, did she also describe injuries that Gannon had suffered?
Yes.
What were those?
She said that he had blood on him.
Did she say from cuts?
Yes.
Did she also describe burns?
Yes.
Did she deflect any cause of those injuries away from herself?
Yes.
Did she in fact say that she did not hurt Gannon?
She did.
At that stage of the investigation, was that an odd development that she's now indicating that he was hurt, but she didn't hurt him?
Yes.
In what way?
Most times, if you don't know what happened to somebody, you wouldn't put yourself out there to say that you didn't do something to that person.
So you mentioned that you arranged in these text messages to have the defendant show up for an interview at the sheriff's office at 10 a.m. on January 29th, which would be Wednesday. Did she show up at 10 a.m.?
She did not.
Were you able to have any contact with her around that time frame to indicate where she might be or why she wasn't there?
I did text her. Yes.
Did you get any responses?
She eventually did respond to me and told me that she was, she had to put measures in place because she was being, or excuse me, her daughter was being stalked and her family was receiving death threats. And so she wasn't able to come in until she got those things taken care of.
Was there any indication, in the investigation that either her or her daughter was actually receiving death threats?
No.
What time did she arrive?
12 o'clock noon.
All right, may I approach with 337?
You may.
Detective, I'm sorry, I keep doing that. Ms. Bethel, do you recognize People's Exhibit 337?
I do.
What do you recognize it as?
It is a copy of the interview I conducted along with Detective Pat Houston with Letecia at the Office of the Sheriff.
Is this the interview from January 29th, 2020 starting at roughly 12 p.m.?
It is.
Have you had a chance to review the contents of, I think that's actually a thumb drive or a portable drive, right?
Yes,
Is the content of that thumb drive a fair and accurate representation of that interview of the defendant?
it is.
All right, at this time I move for admission of People's 337.
Mr. Cook?
No objection.
The 337 will be admitted. Go ahead.
And your permission to publish, and just for reference sake, this recording is 4 hours, 19 minutes and 46 seconds long. And so we will have to stop it for the lunch break and then probably a second time as well.
Okay. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, what we'll do is, this is both video and audio, right?
It is.
Okay. So we're going to start this. We will take a break, a normal lunch break. We'll flex that to a reasonable breaking period. And then we'll send you on your way and we'll come back. But in the meantime, start with that. And Ms. Bethel, you can step down and sit in some places a little bit more comfortable for that long a period of time. And prosecution, go ahead.
Thank you. And slide it to when they actually come in.
Good idea.
And then just because you're in here in our building and stuff, do you mind if I just pat you down over here? We hug. I need you to be down. Yeah, go ahead and put your arms out for me and just separate you like slightly for me. There you go. That's not gonna like poke me or anything. Like you're not diabetic or anything, are you? Okay. The phone. Anything in your purse? Probably not. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. If you can see on a cup, we'll be right back with you. Thanks.
Just while we're actually watching this part, I do want to put something on the record. Normally, I wouldn't necessarily want to play the dead time when there's not an interview happening, but I think her actions inside the room are also relevant for mental health issues. So I'm playing it differently than I
All
normally.
right. That's your call.
How you doing? Did you get some sleep? I'm eating today. Oh my goodness. Want something to eat? I've got some stuff. I would love that. What would you like? I've got some pizza hot pockets and some tamales, a breakfast burrito. Hot pockets would be good. But I mean, you don't have to like, I don't know, we can just, yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, let me get that started for you. I have like Coke and Sprite and like apple juice. Do you want something like that? Yeah, diet. There's high and low for diet. There's no diet. I'll get rid of it. Thank you. All the vending machines are just pulled out. Thank you so much for getting that. Yes, well, here's my card, just so you have it, so I don't forget later. I'll get that just. Okay. So that's my partner, Detective Houston. I know you saw Mark with me yesterday. I work with a couple different people. Like in charge of No, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm in charge. It's just, you know, we all hit in and help out where we can. So, Mark helps me whenever I'm out and about, and Kat helps me whenever I'm here. Right. So she's going to be hanging out with us. And I also have, something going on. So if this ends up going over, which is totally fine. I just want you to know who Kat is in that. Okay. No problem. Where did you park? Did you park in the garage? Mm-hmm. The garage is right behind our building? I parked in the, yeah. So. Oh, okay. Yeah, perfect. For validation, what kind of vehicle were you in? So that I can put that on that validation slip whenever because I'll give you something to turn in so you don't have to pay. Yeah, it's a Volkswagen, Tiguan. It's a Volkswagen Tiguan. Okay. And let's see what else. So I'm just gonna go through my normal spiel with you. Okay. I know that we talked last night, but because you're in here in the police building, I want you to know certain things. Okay. So first of all, you're in here voluntarily. You can leave. Okay. You just have to let me know that you want to leave, right? Because I need to escort you out of the building. Okay. If there's ever a time that you need to take a break, you need the bathroom, you need more water, you're still hungry, whatever it is, let me know. Okay. I can't read your mind, so I need you to let me know what's going on with you, okay, so that I can help you. Mm-hmm. Okay. The whole purpose of this, of us talking, is to gather some information. And I know you question about that. I understand that. I know it's recording and all that. It's totally fine. But does that like usually stay within the court and stuff like that? Not just admin. Yeah. So because I'm gonna have to tell you some very personal things. So. Okay. And that's perfectly fine. Yeah, okay. And so it is not our common practice to go and be releasing stuff like that. Also, another little admin thing that I do just to sort of kind of cover my butt whenever I have people in here talking is to go over a Miranda waiver. It doesn't mean that you're in trouble. It's just because you're in a police station and I want you to be absolutely certain of your rights. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna go over that with you right now. So you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. Mm-hmm. If you can afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. Okay. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Right. Do you understand each of the rights that I've explained to you? And having these rights in mind, do you wish to speak with me? Yes. Okay. So if you could circle yes, circle yes and then initial. It's sort of redundant, but if you'll initial next to yes. And then down at the bottom is an X here, if you'll sign that for me. Now, sorry, this is, I gotta be watching, it doesn't like to work for me. It's 12:10. Thank you. So, because, I know I met with you yesterday. We talked on the phone, we texted, we've been talking with each other a lot. So because this is recorded, I want to get, let's start from the basics. Okay. Who you are. You have your ID. Yeah. And your first? What's your glasses? Yeah, what is it? I haven't heard of that. Is that a new, a Quay brand? Wait, yeah, they're really good. They're like better than like the Michael Kors. And really? Yeah. Okay. I know this is your South Carolina ID. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. What's your middle name? Oh, it's I do my maiden name, which is Hardin, Hardin. Hardin? Yes, ma'am. Okay, and that's your maiden name? Mm-hmm. All right. I'm just looking upstairs with the number. The given middle name? Lynn. Mm-hmm. L-Y-N? Yes, ma'am. There you are. Thank you. What's the phone number for you in case I need to get a hold of you? 843-655-7460. Don't ever drink sugar, so this is probably going to be upsetting. What is, in case I need to send you any documentation via email, how can I do that? TDCIA, like my name, Lynn, and then 2006 at yahoo.com. Are you on any social media platform, Facebook, Instagram? Well, I wasn't for a long time, but just recently I just got like my Facebook back because we didn't have like 2 years. So I do have Facebook. I've always had Instagram, but it's mostly like a travel YouTube type thing. Okay, what's Facebook? It's just my name. Is it Letecia or Tisha? Letecia. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, you said it's under Tisha? Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, it's not. It's because I abbreviated it. It's TT. Is it your same last name? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I really don't like, my first name, I'm always like, oh, Tisha. They're like, what Tisha? Like, I just put T because I'm not saying your name wrong. No, you have it, but I always try to change it. My mom didn't like it, so like, I tried to change it. So, yeah, so I just gave up just to put T. What do you want me to call you? You can call me Tisha, which is my name. Okay. We always have a name we don't like or something. Mm-hmm. And you said Instagram. Mm-hmm. Now, my Instagram is under Dr. Stout. Dr. what? Stout. Is it spelling of your last name? Mm-hmm. Okay. Because I'm a doctorate degree in education. Okay. I'm like, is this like a Dr. Simple kind of thing? Mm-hmm. So it's for your education, doctor. Mm-hmm. All right. And then address that I need to send if I need to mail anything. It's 6627 Mandan Drive, and then 80925. And where are you working? Well, I was working with WD3, but I didn't want to work as a teacher anymore. Mm-hmm. So I decided I was going to be a flight attendant. So that's currently what I started doing with Spirit. So I had been going back and forth doing like FAA. First you have to get like a study guide. I know you're probably like, oh, you have your doctorate degree, you want to be a flight attendant, I just like to travel. But my goal is to like teach online too and do the flight attendant, so I can do both. Sure. So I've been looking over my books with Spirit and like things like that so that I could go training. So I was supposed to go training. We get like a training date February, March, April. So in the meantime, I was just doing like subbing at the early college, just twice a week at the college, picking up sub shifts and stuff like that. Okay, you're more of a substitute. Well, I was just a fifth grade teacher at French, but it's gotten so difficult in elementary school. I don't want to do it anymore. Okay. Yeah, so it was kind of like in between. I just finished working with them and yeah, I'm sure kids nowadays are a handful, right? It's hard because I did fish ways for so long because that's what my doctorate's in, and then you're like, oh, like you try to help so many people, and it's hard. Right. So you're gonna do flight attendant with Spirit. Well, have you been picked up on them yet? Well, I got an offer letter from Spirit, an offer letter from I just got one yesterday from SkyWest. Okay. And the reason I like SkyWest is because they have a domicile in Colorado Springs and in Denver, so you can actually like work there, and I could do both at the top. So I was good.
I thought it was elaborate. I was going to do like Psych and like, I'm sure I would have a problem because I just finished this past year. I was going to just doing both. And then so I had decided, but now that Skywish just had offered it, I was like, that would be perfect because it was just like centrally located, you know.
Right.
We could come home all the time.
Mhm.
So that was a big problem that we had is because I was going to take the Spirit job and then I wouldn't be based anywhere. They don't have a base anywhere in our area. So like I would have had to be in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
So I would never get to see anybody at home. And then you like stay in these crash pads.
Mhm.
Are you familiar with it?
We were on vacation with some people who, the wife used to be a nurse and she actually transitioned into being a flight attendant. She was telling us all about it. Actually.
Right, yeah, so
it's very
I started getting- I did start getting scared about it being in Vegas, and I was like, man, I'll never get to see everybody at home. And like, I mean, I love the travel part, so then I was stuck with traveling but being alone, or traveling with everybody else, but maybe not as much here. So, but, you know, that was in a nutshell. I was kind of, and I was still evaluating. Is it okay if I just stop that? Because it's crazy. But yeah, like I was in like a self evaluation type thing, trying to figure out, you know, transitioning for education and never having like another career. And then like worrying about how people would look at you, like, oh, you have a doctorate degree, you're a flight attendant. You know, you guys like don't make money,
Right.
You know, so.
My niece is actually a flight attendant. So for Southwest.
They said that's the best one, and whenever they have openings, it shuts the website down.
Oh,
well, that's what I heard.
that's pretty awesome. I didn't know about that. Apparently, it's really hard to get into because they're supposed to like handle emergencies in the air. So
Yeah, and like the training is so. You think people just think we will serve people, but the training is so.
I heard it's very intense.
Yeah, they like do ditching exercises. They kick people out every day. If you're late for class for 1 minute, kick you out.
Oh wow,
And
that's good. We need standards like that whenever we're
so like,
flying.
and let me just tell you this in case it comes up like somewhere. But Spirit flew me out to do the December 20-something training, right? Problem is, I didn't have anybody to watch Harley. And Albert was working night shifts. And so it's always hard because it's always on me to find babysitters for everybody, all the kids. It's always on me. So I get out there and he was supposed to help. I know she's 17. We let her stay by herself, whatever. But through the night, because he was working 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., that kind of scared me.
Mm-hmm.
So like she's just doing Air Force. So like I know she's gonna have to learn how to like shoot a gun protection, but you know, like she's not ready yet, mature. Like she's very mature, but she's not ready. So I came back, you know, and I was like talking to them. I just told them I was like, my daughter's at home, whatever. And they're like, we can move you to the next class. I think it was February, whatever. So anyway, so just in case you're like, oh, I thought you were, I did fly out. They flew you out or whatever. And I came back because I was panicking about her, the dogs, everybody to take care of. So
Okay. Your baby, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we talk a little bit about what's going on? So I understand. So initially you didn't tell me some things because Albert was there. And when we say Albert, we're talking about Eugene.
he doesn't like Eugene because his dad is Eugene and he was a child molester.
Okay.
So like he like raped his sister. So he freaks out about the word, like if he hears Eugene, but I said maybe that might help you. You know, if you don't have to call him Eugene, it probably would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is take me through Sunday into Monday.
Okay.
And be as detailed as possible as to what you were doing, who was there, where you were at, how long you spent, et cetera, et cetera. Because the more detail I have, it might start something.
Okay. Is it okay if I take my notes out? Because like I wrote down all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was like, I tried to write anything he might like say, and just in case, you know, I have like notes from different things or whatever. So we already talked about the beginning things. So reading that. So my paper is that we're at the same story that we started with, but then when we start with Sunday, which was the day that we went hiking, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we went hiking at Garden of the Gods. We actually, did you see the picture from Garden of the Gods?
I didn't.
Okay, so we have pictures where we went to Garden of the Gods. We were gonna take the dog for a walk, but then my daughter got called in to work because she worked inside JJ.
Right.
So we were like, okay, we're gonna go hiking. The crazy thing is like it's always like that one kid likes to hike a lot, the other one don't. So we spent the whole time like, come on, let's go, we gotta burn calories. Excuse me, all those type of things. Then he started having a stomach problem and he pooped in his pants. So it kind of cut our hike a little bit short, but I was like, it's okay, we can kind of hold it. But I say cold for me, but I'm used to like 80-degree weather, so it kind of get cold. So we decided to go home.
Okay.
So we go home. I don't really remember what we did the rest of the day. It was probably just like random things around the house. I thought we went to dinner. Oh no, we didn't get dinner because he wanted to take a bath. So he came in and he asked me about, that's what he asked me about the whole bath bomb.
Okay.
And he pooped in his pants, so I thought he wanted to like take shots. I gave him a bath bomb.
Okay.
So we went through the night. We were just doing like a regular random. I was like, I don't know who I should be talking to, but
You can talk about
yeah,
stuff.
we used to be doing like random things around the house. It's Sunday, no football on, you know. I mean, I don't know like specific every little detail we did, but just a normal everyday situation. Other than he was in a lot of pain because he gets really bad. It's like if I like show you like graphic, not graphic like with my hand motions. Yeah, okay. He'll get where he has to like poop and like I swear like that big. It might take like 2 to 3 weeks. He has like a GI problem. So because he takes Vyvanse, so like he had went the whole time without Vyvanse. So whenever that happens, sometimes he'll get where his stomach like wants to work, but then you know like can't. So he spends a lot of time in the bathroom, like kind of like hurting and things like that.
Okay.
All right. So then at this point, the dogs, we have 2 new little a Frenchie and a what is he? English bulldog. They're really like, you know,
French and English bulldog.
yeah, they are. They're really kind of like the Sadie's the first one. She's kind of high maintenance, but the kids always help out a lot with them, you know. But Ganna wasn't feeling too well, and the dogs, you know how they like know someone's not feeling well, so they were all laying down there, and it was gassy, like they're back to that, very gassy or whatever, and you know, life goes on. But so Gannon had started a candle again, normal day. He's very like responsible in terms of like if you give him something and say do this, like a list to prepare. It's fine. So we let him, you know, do things like that. Like Albert lets him like use cutter to cut the boxes down, you know, and like teach him things to be like a independent growing up adolescent. So I didn't see a problem with him, you know, like candle, whatever.
Okay.
Well, I don't remember the exact time. I'd have to look at when the fire thing went off. I was tired. Albert had left because we spent the whole night prior with Saturday because he was going to train in Oklahoma. So we stayed up most of the night.
Okay.
You know, just everybody would miss each other, went to see each other for a while, whatever. So I was kind of like, you know, tired. I had dozed off for a little bit. And Lena asked me could she stay up and still watch the rest of her iPad or whatever. Usually I'm always like, no, straight, like, hey, no, you can, you know, whatever. But I did feel kind of bad because it was just her birthday and at the same time being her birthday, we had a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
So we made it about her, but like I was trying to give her a little extra because not everybody got to make it there. And we went out a lot for Gannon's birthday. Like we took him to a Rockies game. We took friends with him. I mean, like popcorn, hot dogs. But we didn't do that with her. But in her defense, we bought her a Switch. So it's kind of like different, but she didn't understand that. So I let her stay up longer than she's supposed to. Like, not necessarily bribery, but So stayed up a little bit later. And so she was still she's a very hard sleeper and she's hard to like pick up, move if she falls asleep, whatever. But see, I could tell she was just barely asleep when I went in there. So it started beeping. It's like a beep, 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 beep. And I thought that someone was coming in the house. So I look and don't see anyone at any doors or hear anything. So I was like, I thought it was just sensors. So I hit in our 2564, which is our alarm code, but it didn't go off. And I was like, what's wrong with this thing? So I walked through Lena's room. The alarm is in her room. And I walk back like through the top part of the house. And you've been in the house, so you know the top part of the house.
I haven't been in.
Okay, so there's the upper level and then there's the below basement. So I like walk back and forth or whatever. I didn't see anything going on. Then it started saying fire, 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 fire. Like it kept saying fire. So and I thought it was you know how like so there's like sensors for your fire alarm and there's sensors for your like alarm. So I was going to everything trying to like fan it while it was going off because I was thinking kitchen fire, nothing's wrong, whatever. So I was putting like towels over some of the sensors because I thought that was like monitoring the fire thing, whatever. And then I realized it kept going and going. So then I see smoke coming up from the downstairs. So I went downstairs and my idea of a big fire is anything that I see on fire pretty much in there's smoke. That's just because I grew up in the country. So like I've never bonfires and like things like that. So there was smoke coming up through the basement. So the basement has so if you walk down the basement, there's just sofa and stuff over here. It was coming up through the basement. So I like run back up the stairs. Go grab Lane, and luckily, my point telling you about her being not a sleeper, she woke right up. So she woke back up, and I grabbed her, and I was like, get up, get up, get up, get up. I said, I gave her keys. I said, can you go? I don't remember the exact order, but I said something along the lines of, can you go take the dog to Daddy's truck and sit there and wait? Right. So I don't remember the order of how we all ran out the house, but I know that at that point I did. She ran out, and I can't remember if I ran out to make sure they got the truck or she ran out by herself. I don't remember that part, but I do know that they were. I know that they had gotten in the truck. I came back inside, run back downstairs, and that's when I was trying to get Gannon because I couldn't get. I didn't know how to get everybody at once. So my main thing was get certain people out, and then go. So then I ran back downstairs to get Gannon, and then the fire was on the floor over here. Then on the sofa. So I'm pretending this is the sofa and this is our floor. So it was right here and right here, and I saw the candle that was over here. So there was covers everywhere because the kids always going about they leave a lot of covers laying around all the time. I mean, there's like 10 quilts and LOLs and blankets and all this. So they were all right here. So I take a whole bunch of them and I go and like basically smash down on the sofa and the fire to put it out. So I got a burn and then I was like, get up again and started running at that point because it wakes him up. He's alert. He's realizing that the covers and everything's on fire, the carpet's on fire, and we all go outside. So we get in Albert's truck and we drive off. And I drove off in panic because I saw that I put the fire out. So I knew that there was no, like nothing wrong, like it wasn't keep going. I drove off in panic because I just like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Like we put the carpet, we done this and this. He ends up freaking out because he's scared he's gonna get in trouble and da da da. So like the whole talk was going on. So we drove maybe around the block a little bit and came right back. So we came back in and like developed a plan for the next day to figure out. Honestly, we were gonna fix the carpet and try to like not say anything. And the reason for that is because like Albert freaks out about every little thing. If the kids do something and I'm on like me and he'll be like, you did this, you weren't being a good mom, you weren't doing this, you weren't doing that. And so we both kind of were like a little like worried about it. And he gets very like crazy, like if something goes wrong. So that was the plan. Go to sleep, rest. He was going to stay out of school. We were going to get a carpet fix and then go from there. Plus, something hurting. So Lena didn't want to sleep in her room. Everybody was still kind of like frazzled. And I think Lena slept with her on the sofa. I brought the dogs up. And again, he wanted to go to his room at that point because he was already sleeping with her. So that's where Sunday, like pretty much kind of like stopped and everybody went to bed and yada, yada, yada. And I think I sent Albert messages because he was sleeping. That was on a different time zone and he didn't see him that night. So. Okay. And I didn't feel that no one was in harm. I made sure I say that because the fire was not going. Now, I know that Gannon had like black mark all on his shirt, like smoke mark. But he had on a long sleeve shirt and a short sleeve shirt because sometimes he has on whatever. He had on a short sleeve shirt with a long sleeve shirt. So I didn't see him in any kind of like nothing other than the little burns that we had. I didn't see anything on Gannon. All right, so with Gannon, I just saw that. Okay, so like on the top, like right here, like say the shirt's right here, so like right here there was a burn, and the reason for that was I think whenever like he was trying to come up, it kind of burned him a little bit. I'm not gonna make an assumption. I don't really know. And as far as that, I didn't see anything else. Like I didn't know any like other differences or anything like that. All I saw was that. I said, okay, he ran out the house, he was firing out the house, everything was normal. Yada yada yada. Now I'm gonna let you know in a little bit why he was leaving. But at that point, when you get to the Monday morning thing, I'll let you know about that.
Describe the flames for me. How tall are these flames? Is it like smoldering on the carpet, kind of creeping across like a grass fire, or is it like coming up, looking its way at the couch? Like how is it?
I really don't know. I know that it was like here, centralized on the floor, but like I could see. I think the smoke might have like kind of intimidated me more because I spent all night coughing. So I think that kind of intimidated me so much because I couldn't. The visibility was starting to be a little bit, like as if I had walked into a small fire, and I was just afraid that it was gonna, because like upholstery for the couch. That was my biggest concern, was the upholstery for the couch. So. Okay, so I would say, it was like maybe like in this area, like right here. It wasn't like here. So the flames were, 2-3 feet high, you think? How much light did you see coming off of it through the smoke? No. Okay, and that's fine if you don't know. I'm not like a professional, and I was in the moment of freaking out to like give you an accurate answer. Sure. Because I don't want to tell you what's here, and it might be here. I don't want to tell you this, and it's, I don't know.
It's all based off of your memory to the best of your memory, and that's all it is. Okay.
I do know that I saw covers coming up on fire.
What covers were coming up on fire?
Like he had a cover on, because he was sleeping on it.
What was it covered with?
What do you mean?
What kind of blanket? You mentioned there was LOLs, there's quilts.
Which color?
What blanket was he using?
I'm not sure. There was a couple that were there. There was a black. They were all. I put all back in that bin that was sitting there. He said he didn't have a bin. There was black. It was like a little furry. There was watermelon ones. I don't remember specifically which one he had. But I know there was blankets in the area because they always leave makeup around. It was a mermaid went around. But the whole operation, when I grabbed them and put it out, I grabbed them all and done it.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Were any of them like damaged whenever that happened?
Oh yeah, they all, I left them all there when I showed them that night that, you know, like they were damaged or whatever.
Okay, well, I haven't been about.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was thinking to you like you.
Yeah, no, I didn't go into the house either, so I was like trying to make sure that.
Yeah.
So then Gannon decides that he doesn't want to go to school because of his tummy issues or because he's going to help you with the carpet. What is?
It was kind of a combination of both.
Okay, and who excused him from school?
But well, I had to text Albert and say, could he not go to school for his stomach?
Okay,
Because he was hurting with his stomach, but also the whole plan was that we were going to figure it out.
so who actually contacted the school to excuse
It
him?
wasn't me. I didn't. I don't know.
Okay.
If someone contacted, I didn't.
I would assume that
Okay.
somebody would contact the school, or you probably would get like a phone call. I know with my kids' school, if they're not there by 8:15, so office.
Then we'll call Albert, not me, because he would have the like automated system where he's like, your child's missing. I mean, your child is missing from school today, whatever.
So that's Sunday, and you're saying a lot of we and that kind of thing. So you mentioned earlier that Harley had gone to work.
Mhm.
She got called in a massage MD.
Mhm.
So who went on the hike?
So it was originally going to be all of us, Harley, me, again, and Lena. And then Harley got called in. She switched this with someone, but then that person, like, I guess the policy is that that person agreed to take your shift, but then they'll come, you still have to come or something. I don't know. So she just was like, I have to go. She's only gonna be working there like a few more weeks or whatever. I told her, I was like, don't burn any bridges. I know it sounds crazy that you have to do that, but you got to go in. So she went into work on Sunday.
So it ended up being you, Gannon and Lena that went hiking. Right. Okay. And so then let's go through Monday. Yep.
So we wake up on Monday. Normal. How we wake up. And you're like, everybody gets up, whatever. Gannon stays in bed. He already knows that we are going out about today. That was the plan. I walk Lena out, because usually Gannon walks her outside. So I walk Lena out to the front door and around to make sure I see her around the corner to get to the bus stop. And she did.
Okay.
I come back inside. I don't remember if I laid down a little bit. I probably played on my phone for a little bit, you know, wasted a little bit. She goes outside like 6:50, 6:55. You know, so early, take the dogs out, things like that. Well, I go down, start talking to Gannon about, hey, like, this is the plan, like, go downstairs, the basement, whatever. I say basement, but I don't like his room is downstairs, a furnished basement. And I realized that Gannon, he actually had like marks like on his arm, and they were actually like peeling at that point. And I swear, I did not realize that they had, I don't know if like they start like the burns are sitting there. I don't know if they started like peeling like overnight or like whatever. And he has like really bad anxiety. So whenever things are peely or like things like that, he bites his own nails a lot anyway. Like anything that's like loose, things like that, he bites them. So I don't know if like, as I guess his burns like, you know, burned a little bit. And when I do this, I don't mean like I'm giving you a location. I'm just saying like as in burns like on your skin. I guess when like, you know, like pull a little bit stretchy or whatever. So like on the arm, it kind of gets a little stretchy and peeling.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like freaked out because I was like, I didn't know that his arms were like that. So I'm like crying because, and this is where I have to start telling you, you know, like I'm like very like I was scared because my thought process was Albert is going to kill me, like because I made a mistake as a parent and forgot to like really check him down, and he really got a little bit more brave than he should have. So I was freaking out because like it's gonna kill me. And Gannon's like, it's okay, like there was blood, and like he had on his arm, and as it was peeling, I should have called. Where did they have blood at? I should have called the hospital and just asked. You know, I don't know enough about burns, but I should have called the hospital and just asked. Like, I made a mistake. I did. I swear to y'all, I didn't know they were that bad. I did it all. So I feel horrible. Here I am. I know it's not, you know, about me, but as a person, I was feeling horrible that I didn't call Albert to say, you know, they're like this. So I told him, I said, okay, listen, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put some like aloe on your arms, you know, and things like that. And I was like, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna, you know, and all I kept thinking about was we're gonna fix it. And I don't know in my mind how I was gonna fix it. As far as he wasn't in pain. He wasn't saying like I'm hurting or anything like that. He was more of like peeling it, like, you know, like it was like it was like a boil. Am I saying the right word? Boil, like blister. Blister. Like it was pulling a blister, you know. Okay. So there was blood, and then so I'm like holding him, and I had blood on me. And when I say blood, let me explain to you. I don't mean like dripping out, pouring everywhere blood. So let me not like give you that thought process, because sometimes when I say like if I say flames, to me I'm like this is a big flame, you know. There was blood. So I was just so like freaked out. So I was like, we'll just clean it up. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Where's the blood at? So the blood was on his arms, on his like sheet that he had, which we washed the sheet. So it was on his sheet. It was on his arms, and he had some on like his arm had, I guess from like sleeping or whatever. He had some on the wall. So we
Like we cleaned up everything. I put like garnish the, am I saying the right, garnish like the wrap thing, but a wrap thing. And I was like, we'll check it with the aloe and see if it gets better. Because my next thing was I'm gonna assess the situation in so many hours, and if it looks, because I did look online and it said like if it turns a yellow color that it could be infected or whatever. And I was like, that was gonna be my next step. So I don't want you to think that I was like neglecting the fact that.
So you realize that he's got a burn. You do some treatment that you think is appropriate at the time, and then you tell yourself, I'm going to do this follow up with him. Okay. So then what happens after you take care again and make sure he's okay?
Honestly, I'm facing the house, and I know there's two things I got to fix. And when I tell you that Albert will freak out over things, I just want you to know that. So I want you to see a picture in my mind of how I'm like afraid to be like, okay, I got to fix these situations, and I need to fix them fast with carpet and things like that. Okay. So number one, I was like, I need to fix the carpet, and number two, I need to figure out, like assess, like I said, does Gannon need to go get like some burn cream or whatever? So I said, let's get.
This is probably as good a time as any to pause it and then pick back up after lunch.
Okay, I was wondering when we get there. Okay. Council approach for a minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if I can have everyone back in the jury room at say 1:20, we should be able to start this afternoon on time. What we're going to do is I've been talking with the attorneys, and when we come back, there's still going to be about 3 hours and 20 minutes or so of the video to go. We will take another break during that. That's just too long to have you sitting. So we will take another break during that, but that's what you can expect when you come back. So if you want to bring beverages or something like that, feel free to do that so that you have something to drink. It seems like it's getting a little warmer in the courtroom. When we came in this morning, it was a sweltering 64 degrees, but it's a little bit warmer now. So, and I expect it will be this afternoon as well. So anyway, we will see you at 1:20. All rise for the jury, please. Thank you. You may all be seated. Record should reflect the jury has left the courtroom. Is there anything we need to take up outside the presence of the jury at this point in time? Prosecution?
No, you are.
Defense?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. We'll see everybody back. Then.
Yeah, while we're waiting for this to get off break here, yeah, Savannah, we're gonna go over that later. I got a live already set for it. Fuck Patty Lynn, piece of shit. We'll get her, Savannah, love. We'll get her. Okay, I'm going to end this one because it seems like it's over an hour wait. And if they bring it back on, I'll come back on with it. But until then, I'm going to get ready for our live later. I love you all. See you all then. Bye. Thank you.